Hello everyone, my name is Relax and Panic and this is another reaction to Hunter x Hunter. It's episode 12 and you know what to do. As always, if you want to see the reaction, just go down into my descriptions, follow the links, replace the circumflex dot parts with real dots and enjoy. Once you've done, feel free to come back here and hear my thoughts about this episode. So, see you soon. For those that came back, welcome back. Now, there was a, in many ways, very calm episode, the first half especially, you know, the 50 hours of waiting. But I mean, what can we expect? If you just sit in a very small room, in a tiny room, as Leorio said it, 50 hours is a lot of time and there's not much to do. So it did not escalate as much as I expected, but still Tonpa tried to play his game. He tried to put ideas in the mind of Leorio or make him doubt. Which is something he does mainly, or more neither only, with Leorio. So I'm a bit sad about that. We had that in the last episodes, and I remember one of you mentioned it in the discussions as well, in the comment section, that it is Leorio who very often is the one making mistakes, or overreacting, or, you know, doing sometimes, I wouldn't say silly stuff, but he seems somehow to be, of the four, the weakest, which is a bit sad. You know, I would like it if that would be more equally divided among those characters, because I really like him. I like his drive, I like his reasons to do what he does. So, it seems a bit unfair that he is taking the blame of making mistakes. It could be more equalized between the four characters, that would be fine. But, I mean, someone has to do it, so they are going with him here, whatsoever. And Tonpa is playing on that. However, what clearly came out in the room there is two more things. The one thing is that Kurapika is reading a lot, and that's clearly the thing. So they have 50 hours, and Kurapika was reading book by book by book by book. You could see it, the staple rising next to him. So he, which we haven't seen much of yet, might be a very well-educated character, a very well-educated one, knowing a lot about theory. Maybe that's interesting to see in the future. And we have Gon and Killua, where it already was clear that there's a friendship forming more and more. I mean, they're already deep in the friendship territory, no question there. It's a bit like they met and it instantly clicked. And you can see it in this episode so much. You know, standing up together, not being angry at each other when they throw pillows at each other. Playing with the toys of the other person, you know. The skateboard from Killua is used by Gon. The fishing hook of Gon is used by Killua. So that is very much how children learn to trust each other, by sharing their toys. And they do that in an amount that is way above any normal. They are having so much fun with each other here. It's great to see. So this is a very special friendship already. And they are just, you know, traveling some days, not even days. I don't know, it's some days together. So interesting and good to see. And we have this first half that it is more neither. In the second half, I mean, there were many people who finished the test. So I wrote some of them down, not all, because I don't know how much of them we will see in the future. But we came to the second half of the testing, so they are running down the tower, evading traps, falling stones, and everything. And indie trap, that's always a cool thing to have in whatever kind of a dungeon. If you don't know what else to do, put in an indie trap. It's always funny. And they made it to the last room, which was clearly a tough one. And I kind of thought that they would have to have an, is it called unison decision? So one where all have to press the same button. Because that is something, if they would have ever had that, where they could go once more with the theory about democracy that they had in the past about voting. In the last 3 episodes, we had a lot of this about the theory behind gambling and behind making votes hidden and open. So the chance from the rock, paper, scissors game, what is the chance that this person will do rock, paper, or scissors, could have been used on this last vote as well. So it's like you will have to choose one path and all of you have to choose, otherwise no door will open. And then they would have had to think about how to trick Tonpa into selecting a specific door, because he has to press. Which is the next thing, how do you force him to press, you know? So if you would, howsoever, have to press, how do you know which door he will pick, and then you all pick that? If he would know you pick the one, then he will pick the other one. So it would be a game of minds, how you make him pick one door and do the same without him realizing it. That might have been interesting, a game of minds, one last time with Tonpa. But they didn't go for that. Instead it was the long path, 45 hours, so not the time they have. Or the short one, 3 minutes, so it was a slide. But 2 people would have to be chained to the door, to the wall. So yeah, the idea that those weapons cut the stone and thus they take the long path, cut through the stone to the short path, and thus are able to finish in time is a clever one. I still question why Tonpa helped. I mean, strangely enough, it was about seconds here. So if he wouldn't have helped, it might have been able that they wouldn't have made it. So it's interesting that he did still. That he finishes when they finish, that was clear. I mean, if he cannot stop them anymore, he will go through as well. I would have thought maybe maybe he tries to stop Leorio on the last meters. Because it is about seconds, that he says, at least I take one with me. But he didn't. I would have expected them to choose the once Gon realized the thing with the stone being cuttable, that they would have chosen the door X, chain 2 to the wall, and when it opens, they just cut open the locks, the chains with the weapons by destroying the stone around the foundation of the chains. I thought that would have been an option. Sure, if you have bad luck, then it's a metal wall behind that because they thought about this. You never know. And I kind of expected this last test to be about deciding as a group, that it was about if you fight, you will lose. Because this whole test from top to bottom seemed to be around you will have to work together. That is something that you have to learn, that you have to train to work as a group. And thus the last test that offers you the option to fight against each other instead did not make much sense to me there. So I thought that maybe the other option would have been, if you chose the long way, it is the short way instead. You know, you're being like giving a blessing for working together. Didn't do that. I like this option as well that they did, because it shows that they're clever. But was a bit surprising, this whole room in general, and that's okay for me. So that brought in the action that we missed before in the 50 hours. So a good one. We finished with 25 people still in the exam now. And as it was mentioned by the narrator, the chances are high that we are now going on in whatever kind of one-to-one battles, one-on-one. So that it might very well be that those are facing each other now. Not forever, but as a test who will pass. And that is an interesting thing, because if they really do like a tournament, and only like, let's say the top 4 will make it, that means there's a high chance that they kick each other out. So you have like just saying Gon against Killua, and only one can pass. Who decide? I mean, they will have to either just decide it, or crap the hell out of, beat the hell out of each other. And then it is more like, seriously, why? That is not about getting the best one, you know. If you make a battle with 24, because it's better fitting, applicants, and you just randomly let them compete against each other, it might very well be that the best two face each other already at the beginning. Thus, you have at the end one of the best, because he makes it through the whole tournament, or they just injure each other enough that they both don't make it. So there is a chance you don't end up with the best ones, because just by coincidence, the best ones kick each other out through the tournament. So one-on-one battles is a thing I'm not so much into for selecting who is best, unless you say, I just want to watch them fight against each other or face off in whatever kind of a tournament. And by overseeing it, so the examiner, I can see what skills they have, I can see what abilities they have, and then I choose, I pick who is to stay. Which possibly they will not accept then, because those who made it this far wouldn't accept it to be just not picked. They want to fail by themselves. So it's this kind of a competition is a weird one. A test like we had now all the time makes more sense. So let's see where it is going. This, however, it is from me this time. I hope you liked. I did for sure. So until the next time, feel free to comment, like and subscribe. My name is Relax and Panic. Goodbye and out.